Hey chat, you guys want to do some nostalgia trip real quick? Let's do a little bit of nostalgia trip, right? How many of you guys know Hamtaro? Do you guys remember Hamtaro, the cartoon? I kind of saved this video or so for us to take a look at. I was like, you know what? Why not, right? Let's take a look at something a little bit different. Time to feel old again.
Wait, remember Hamtaro, the cute little hamster anime? Does this version of him ring any bells? Probably not, but you know, hopefully this one does. When I was younger, this little hamster was everywhere. More specifically, having DVDs with bright, eye-catching colors, and come on, did you even—
This was literally the show that I watched when I was so young. Woo! This is a long time ago. This is old cartoons.
Play the Game Boy if you never played Hamtaro Hams Unite? Exactly. That's what I thought. What I was also thinking is that it would kind of be fun to take a look back on the whole brand of Hamtaro in general. Right now, as of a few
everyone's
weeks ago,
old
the
here,
anime
so
itself has just hit its 25th anniversary. So what better time than
25th
now
anniversary?
to go back and look at
Oh
it
my
all,
God.
right? Whether you were a big fan of this little hamster or only barely know what Hamtaro is, today we are going to talk about the origins of this little fella, talk about the anime, its history with the video games, and more, seeing what happened to the property and if there is a future for this furry fella and his little furry friends.
Dude, this brings me back so many memories.
Hamtaro, a series that follows the life of a little white and orange hamster who lives with his owner Laura as he also goes off to spend time with his other hamster friends as they get into various activities that require the power of friendship and working together to grow and learn through these various scenarios. It's a feel-good, slice-of-life type of series that puts a strong focus on life lessons and understanding the world around you.
And I guess I must have watched anime for a really long time, I guess, and never even realized it, to be honest. Because I never thought this was an anime.
Would go on would often lead them to overcoming some sort of obstacle alongside one another, whether that be through their experiences as a group outside of their homes or through having their own connections with their individual owners. While the series became a massive hit in Japan, things in the US may not have panned out the same way. While you or I may remember Hamtaro as something that felt successful based on the characters being recognizable or having played any of the video games released for it, the series—
Really? Was it really that successful on the global side of things? Really? I don't know. I thought it was pretty well done or so, because I watched so many episodes for this anime.
struggled to find its footing with audiences, and I mean that is here where I am in the US. But that may not have been the fault of the property itself, but rather where its driving force, the anime, was shown. So we're going to go through all of that, but first we need to understand the optics and learn about how it all started and then became a massive franchise in Japan.
Next.
It was pretty decently big over here because like there's like products and stuff like that for Hamtaro. I remember that too.
So what were the origins of Hamtaro? Well, we first have to take a look at one of my favorite things in the world, manga. Originally, Hamtaro started off as Totoko Hamtaro, or Trotting Hamtaro, a little serialized manga series inside of Shogakukan Shogaku Ninensei magazine. It was created by Ritsuko Kawai, and first started being published in the magazine in April of 1997. As these stories were starting to find a bit of popularity with the readers of the magazine, the series would eventually have 4 full-on standalone books, well, technically 3, but you know, I'll get to that. The series would show off a cute little hamster who learns to trust and love the girl who he was adopted for, going from being scared and timid over how their first interactions go, but quickly comes to find comfort and care within her as he now would do anything for her to make her smile and have a better day. It's genuinely some of the most wholesome storytelling out there. It's adorable. At times, Hamtaro would address the reader directly, talking about proper care facts for hamsters, going beyond this with all of the extras that Ritsuko would include, like other bits of information regarding taking care of hamsters, sheet music that would be the literal theme song for Hamtaro, and just a bunch of small doodles so that overall these books were packed with so many little personal detailed touches that you can't help but love it. After the first 2 books, A Home for Hamtaro and Other Stories, as well as Hamtaro Gets Lost and Other Stories, the 3rd book, Jealous Hamtaro and Other Stories, would change up the formula of what you'd expect, because the Hamtaro that you know is no longer there. This Hamtaro is a brand new character, and the girl in the story is different as well. But as you can see, the look of Hamtaro shifted away from the more realistic aesthetic style, and started looking a lot more how you'd likely remember him from other forms of media. Aside from these standalone manga storybooks, a more traditional manga series with 3 volumes started coming out in 1999, now looking a lot more like the Hamtaro that we would be more familiar with, along with a bunch of other hamster characters that would translate over to other formats as well. There were 3 volumes of this Totoko Hamtaro Hamuchanzu de Gozaimachu series, with the name roughly translating to Hamtaro, We Are Hamuchans. All 3 were originally planned to be put together into this 4th book that would follow suit with the other 3 and be translated and released in English under the new title of Playful Hamtaro and Other Stories, but for whatever reason this never fully came to be. So as far as the manga, this is where Hamtaro's story ends and his animated journey now begins. No, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about this one, Totoko Hamtaro Anime Dechu, a special straight-to-VHS released OVA that featured 4 short episodes that were adapting the work in the manga. The only way to attain one at the time was through Shogakukan's magazines, where by sending in 1,200 yen, you would then be sent the VHS. With this happening in release—
Wow, that's, bro, that, oh my god, that is so old school, when you had to like send like stuff through like through the mail or so to get things in return or so from them. Wow, that's old. Wow, that's, oof, man, dude, that's old school. That's super old school.
In September
I remember that.
1999, there wasn't much at the time documenting its existence. So once the fan base of Hamtaro grew based on other aspects of the franchise in the 2000s, this original anime was seemingly lost to time for it not being too well known, but luckily, thanks to the admins of the 2005 created Hamtaro fan site Ham Ham Paradise, a copy of the VHS ended up in their hands in 2017, nearly 2 decades after it was created, as they then preserved it for the fans of Hamtaro, and in general the world, to view and enjoy. It's a pretty cool story, so shout out to everyone a part of that from Ham Ham Paradise.
To be honest, I would probably watch it actually, to be honest, the original anyways.
As well as a shout out to them for everything else that they've been doing, but I'll get to mentioning that in a little bit. This version of the anime was more so just like the manga before, following a more younger skewed form of entertainment that had a semi-educational focus. It honestly feels very much like how a pilot episode of any series, live action or animated, would come off. It's close to the main series, you know, but just slightly off, so it looks and feels like Hamtaro, but it's slightly different. It wouldn't be long after this point that Shogakukan would help produce things further to turn Hamtaro into a full-on anime for Tokyo TV. Now, on July 7th, 2000, Totoko Hamtaro would officially begin its run as a full-fledged anime series. It wouldn't be until nearly 2 years later, on June 3rd, 2002, that the series would make its way to Toonami to premiere in the US in English. Ah, yes, Hamtaro, Little Hamsters, Big Adventures, and you know what? They truly were. Hamtaro here is living with a different girl altogether from what came before, with her name being Laura. And as Hamtaro gets all situated in his new home, he quickly escapes from his cage and breaks out of the house to go on his own little, or big, adventures. From this point, Hamtaro ends up meeting more of the cast of characters that would make up the Ham Hams, like Oxnard, Boss, and Bijou. And I like how we get to meet everyone and how the friendship between them all starts.
Oh, dude, man. Oh, man, dude. This is like unlocking memories or so that I have not like opened in like forever, dude.
Especially when they meet Boss, who is in the middle of digging out and building what will soon become the Ham Ham Clubhouse, thus introducing us to more of the friend group. They all have their own distinct personalities, with Boss, for example, having this extra bit of street smarts, being a wild hamster, and he's a bit of a favorite character of mine because of the English voice dub, and with how he carries himself within the show. There is quite a lot of dynamics at play within the setup based on—
I don't remember what he sounds like. Actually, I don't really remember what they sound like in general, because it's been so long, to be honest.
Whose pet hamster they are, with Hamtaro's owner being Laura, and she's friends with Kana, who is Oxnard's owner, and for the most part, as we meet other Ham Hams, a lot of them get a lot of their personality from their owners, as the humans do have a focus here in the series outside of the daily lives of hamsters, who kind of act like the Rugrats, if we're being honest, breaking out of their areas and going on some sort of adventure. It's an episodic series that follows a pretty simple formula of Hamtaro and the Ham Hams dealing with whatever situation of the day they must face or overcome, doing so together as a big unit of friends, as we see how they learn about the world around them and understand more about the humans that house them, aside from Boss, you know, for obvious reasons. There's really not too much more to it than that. You get to watch some silly hamsters do a bunch of fun and random things while they interact with one another. It's just cute, and if you're like me, watching any bit of this fills you with pure nostalgia. Beyond just the series, there were a slew of Hamtaro video games, and some of them for sure contributed to the initial attachment to the series that myself and probably many others here in the US had. had. So,
Well, unfortunately for me specifically, of course, being poor and everything, well, number one, I never knew they made video games. And number two, anyways, I probably wouldn't be able to afford it anyways on top of that. So it's just kind of like, the games that we usually played or so. Let's see. We played on the, what is it? The Sega Genesis or the Sega Mega Drive, depending where you live or so in the country or in the world, technically. It has two different names. That's the console that I had, and I had two games. I had freaking Sonic, and then this one other game or so that Scouter V told me the name, but I don't remember it off the top of my head anymore. So, and then that one, and after that, I transitioned over to the PS1 afterwards. The PS1 with the little mini screen on it.
let's take a look at them.
Hamtaro will return in a moment. Hamtaro now continues.
Do you ever just find yourself thinking about how iconic
Yeah,
the
man,
cover of
Hamtaro, man.
Hams Unite is? No?
I've seen that box art, dude. I've seen that box.
Just
I've
me?
seen it in the stores, man.
And Timmy, I swear, this cover is burned into my brain. I feel like even if you've never watched the show, you either had or knew someone who had this specific Game Boy Color game. But this isn't the first game in the series.
I saw it in the store, dude. I saw this one in the store.
Why don't we take a moment to talk about all of the games, because they did play a role in part of bringing Hamtaro from Japan to the West. Now, to be on brand with being small hamsters, every game, aside from one, was released on Nintendo's handheld gaming consoles. The first Hamtaro video game that was released on September 8th, 2000 was a Japan-only release. Totoko Hamtaro Tomodachi Daizokuzen Dechu for the Game Boy Color falls in this interesting realm of not fully being like the show based on when development of it started. If anything, you can classify this as less of a video game and more so
Playing PGR Dante, and I forgot how to taunt. It's basically clicking the passive meter on the bottom screen. You click on it, or whatever the button is for you. That's how you do the taunt.
a virtual pet simulator. Like, if you don't have a hamster yourself and you want to see what it would be somewhat like to have one that specifically sometimes talks to you,
have to jump in the air and then press the
A
button.
real hamster wouldn't necessarily do, then this is the game for you. It's a concept that we've seen people really get attached to through different means, whether you're playing Nintendogs, or if you have a Tamagotchi, or even just playing with your Pokemon in Pokemon Go. It's cute. There's really not much to it. But with the popularity that this character would have in Japan, it was probably a smart move to get something easier like this out. Not that I can read anything that Hamtaro is saying to me or really understand the vast majority of what stuff in the game is saying, but it's an easy enough to understand concept that has the perfect Game Boy Color charm to it that I feel you really can't authentically replicate today. Somebody's gonna take that wrong and think I mean they just don't make them like they used to or something because I am old and out of touch. Now, for the first game to be released in other markets as well, Hamtaro Hams Unite is a more traditional game in that sense, released for the Game Boy Color. While it originally dropped in Japan in April of 2001, the North American release wouldn't be until October 28th, 2002, making it a pretty late release for the Color, as we will see a quick transition to Nintendo's next handheld after this. Hams Unite is pretty interesting in the fact that it's a very simple game,
Was the
but it
Game Boy
kinda has
Advance?
this Pokemon-like element to it. So the main
Question
goal
mark?
of the game is to go around to different areas around the town to find other hams to get
Was it-
them to
'cause
come
it-
back
it's
to the
Game Boy
clubhouse.
Color,
That's
Game Boy
really
Advance,
all there is
Game
for the
Boy
main focus of the game.
SP.
But in the game, you will need to learn all of these different ham chats and use them as if they were Pokemon moves that you will need to perform at the right time or at the right place or to the right ham to
I think after the SP was it the DS? I know the GameCube is somewhere around there during the the SP era, I think, because I know that you can connect your handheld or so to the GameCube. Yeah, was it Game Boy Advance that it came out during that time, or was it the SP? Fuck, I don't remember. It's been so long since I remember that.
accomplish not only the main task, but all of the little ones as well that you'll find in each location. The ham chats are cute and all have associated meanings, and come on. The ham chat that means lonely being ham solo is amazing.
Ham
and the little
Solo.
customization of outfits for photos is pretty cute, but in the end, it's nothing too special of a game outside of the nostalgia around it, especially for it being the first Hamtaro game to come to the States, and that for some reason we all know about it. Either we've seen it or played it, and that's kind of cool that a lot of us share in that memory of this, and in some some cases more so than other aspects of the property, like the show. Like, I knew someone growing up who had the game, but never watched the series or cared beyond playing this specific Hamtaro game, so shout out to you, Brandon. I hope you're out there somewhere doing well. Heck, maybe you're even still playing Ham Hams Unite. So for the next game, Hamtaro Ham Ham Heartbreak, it actually released in Japan
Dude,
that
box art looks so cute.
So for the next game,
That box art, yeah, Game Boy Advance. I had the Game Boy Advance. I don't know if I still have that console. I'm not too sure if I still have it or not, but dude, that art style is so cute too. I remember this box too as well.
It actually released in Japan in May of 2002, before North America would even get the previous game, which is just kind of funny to me since the game was now on the Game Boy Advance. But the wait for it wasn't as bad, coming out around 6 months after Ham Ham Unite in North America on April 7th, 2003. This game honestly plays out more like a sequel to the previous game, keeping the ham chat system and having little customization features that you can go around and collect. But the biggest thing here is that not only do you get to play as Hamtaro, but you also get to play as Bijou, as together you have to save the day from the nefarious Spat. And ooh, he's a bad hamster. He hates all things lovey-dovey, going around causing issues in relationships and friendships all around. So you need to go and repair all the problems created thanks to the help from the really good hamster, Harmony. It's honestly just a more polished version of Ham Hams Unite, containing some new gameplay features and having a slightly more expanded on story thanks to how villainous Spat is. It truly felt like the natural evolution of the last game thanks to moving up
This
in
looks
hardware,
interesting, to be
giving you
honest.
a duo to play as and having more to do in general. This one, while I saw it less than its Game Boy Color predecessor, still was around pretty heavily. I wonder if Brandon ever got to play it. Someone should tell him, he should know about this. The next Hamtaro game in the series was Hamtaro Rainbow Rescue, and while it was yet also a sequel to
They made
Ham
so
Ham
many different
Heartbreak,
games,
it
to be
only
honest.
ever
I never
released in
expected it.
Japan and Europe.
Because
In
usually when it
store-
comes to these kinds, like lower, like not quote unquote popular IPs, like the big mega ones or so, I would expect it like, you know, a couple of games, but I never expected this many games, to be honest.
Shelves in May of 2003 in Japan and October of 2004 for Europe. Why didn't it come to America? Well, who really knows, as originally it seemed like it was planned to. Again, it was the sequel to the last game, but all we ever found out was that a prototype build of the game did exist at some point in 2003, as the information about it would be put out there just a couple of years ago in 2023. So that's interesting, but in this game, you get to play as a whole assortment of ham hams, deciding who to use on the team based on the objectives that you need to clear. The story here is less dark than the last one, literally, with this one being centered around restoring the colors of the rainbow as Prince Bo comes crashing down after this massive rainbow disappears, needing the Ham Ham's help to now get all of the colors of the rainbow imprinted into his special umbrella so that he can restore the rainbow and can return home. Overall, it's a lot more of what the previous game had, only this time, like I said, you get to play
What
as
the hell,
more
they have
Ham
Photoshop
Hams,
in
with
this
the game
one?
looking
What?
the best it has yet. It just feels so polished, and with all of the mini games, coloring pads, and collectibles, this may very well be the best of the series.
Really?
At least for this style of Hamtaro games. It's truly a shame that it didn't make its way to North America. It definitely should have. Now, to take a break from the handheld side of things for
Wait, can't you just emulate it and then use a patch or so to do English dub on it or something like that? Can't you not do that?
moment, let's talk about the one Hamtaro game that didn't release anywhere else other than on PC, and on top of that, only in North America.
This one right
in
here?
2003, we would get Hamtaro Wake Up Snoozer, a
Wake
more
Up
educational-focused
Snoozer.
version of the Hamtaro games that harkens back to the roots of the property being for a younger audience to learn from. This one isn't anything too amazing if you've never played it, given that it's a very easy game that was made for a specific younger audience, but you end up doing a bunch of smaller puzzle-based games in order to figure out a way to get to Penelope, who is trapped in some newly dug tunnels thanks to Snoozer, living up to his name and taking a big snooze at the entrance, and he just won't wake up. So yeah, this isn't Snorlax, there's no flute to help you here, so each of the Ham Hams have their own game that acts as their own ideas to try and get to Penelope. There's not a lot to it, but this was an interesting era for PC games in the educational market. It really seemed like the shelves would be littered with games
there's one game. Well, actually, was there one game or was there two games? There are a couple games that I played, like educational games on PC. I think the one with like a little car that's purple. Fuck. What's another one? Fuck. Hold on. Wait. Let's see. Old educational computer games. Yeah. Let me see. Hold on. Which one was it? Let's see. Do they have it here? Question mark. I remember the Oregon Trail. Yeah, I remember this one. I remember this one. Putt Putt. Is that the name? Yeah. Putt Putt. Right. Fucking Math Blaster, dude. Oh my god, dude. That's fucking old, dude. Yep, I remember that one. Yep, there it is. Putt Putt. Yeah, the Magic School Bus. Yep. The Magic School Bus. Oh, dude, the logical journey of the Zubinis. Oh, dude. Oh my, bro, this here. Oh my god, that's a classic, man. This one is a classic. I played this one. I remember playing this one. Oh my god, dude. What the fuck? There was a Mario. There was literally a Mario teaching game. Pfft, I didn't even knew about that, to be honest. It's a Treasure Mountain. I don't think I remember that one. Don't know about this one. Castle of Dr. Brain. Museum Madness. Oh my god, dude. Pajama Sam. Oh! Oh my god, bro. Pajama Sam, dude. That's a throwback name, man. That is a super throwback name. I know there was another one. I know. Wait, Star Wars. Wait. Star Wars had a fucking education game? I didn't know that. What the hell? Wait, there's one more. There's one. I know there's another one. There's another specific one. Oh yeah, I remember this one. Yeah, the Disney one. Fuck, there was one more. Was it not an educational game? Was it a computer game? It was like literally a bunch of like sports games. Like it was a bunch of like kids doing sports and everything. I thought that was the educational game. Hey Ronan, how you been? Fuck. What was it called? Was it called Backyard Kids? Let me see. Hold on. Was it called Backyard Kids? Let me see. Hold on. No. Yeah. Oh, dude. Oh my. Yes, man. You guys remember? How many of you guys remember this game by any chance? Oh my lord, dude. Dude, this game, man. This freaking... Dude, I remember this, dude. I remember this freaking game. Oh my god. Yeah, it was like a bunch of sports stuff and everything, dude. Oh my lord, dude. That's like memories, man. I guess I did play PC games back then, I guess, before. Dude. Oh.
This, whether it be stuff like the Jumpstart
like
games
memories,
or even the
man.
Tonka games, and yes, many of the educational games were targeting franchise familiarity. Hey, you like Toy Story, right? Wouldn't it be cool if you learned with Woody and Buzz? Also, why do I still own all these? I need to reevaluate my life. Or have a kid already. For our next game, if you thought that Mario and Sonic started all of this Olympic game business, you just wouldn't be ready to understand the truth that Hamtaro did it first.
Damn, you telling me Nintendo copied Hamtaro? Damn, I knew it. I knew Nintendo. Nintendo be copying everybody, man. Fucking Hamtaro did it first, man. Man, look at that shit. Pfft, goddamn Nintendo. Just copying everyone else, huh?
Ham games for the Game Boy Advance released nearly simultaneously.
I knew it. That's another reason to hate Nintendo, man.
Ahead of the Olympics that year. It plays out as a 7-day event with different hamster-fied athletic competitions happening each day. This one specifically is a lot of fun, and I appreciate that you could do other stuff outside of the events, like exploring the areas, and most importantly, watching some TV, where aside from a recap of the events and who won, there are other shows to watch. This, however, would be the final Hamtaro game on the Game Boy Advance, and the last Hamtaro game to release in North America for a while.
Really?
Hamtaro Nazo Nazo Q would be the next game to release, coming out in December of 2005 for the Nintendo DS, and would be exclusive to Japan only. Essentially, this one is all about quizzing and getting answers correct without using hints and doing so in a timely manner. It's all in Japanese, so it's not like I'm going to be great here, but it looks really nice for an early DS game. It has a multiplayer component to it that lets you go head-to-head with another person, and honestly, you know, I really couldn't couldn't do much here. Maybe there's a translated version out there for you. But you know,
Probably.
where's the fun in understanding what's going on, you know? But now let's talk about the last game to ever come out for the Hamtaro franchise, Hi Hamtaro Ham Ham Challenge. This one was also
Oh,
released
why is it what's going on here? Why is this censored? Huh?
on the Nintendo DS, coming out in March of 2007 for Japan, as North America
Why is it
would
censored?
actually, and surprisingly, get the game released in September of 2008. This game really was a mixture of some of the stuff that came before it, having a focus on mini-games with an aim at a younger audience, while you would still have sections of controlling
Dude, this would have been so cool if I
Hamtaro
had
in the
this
area
as
to
like, you know,
explore and
as a
get into the
child,
games
to be
themselves.
honest.
It looks really good, the gameplay is fine enough, but of course, I can't help but want more of what the games were back on the Game Boy Color and Advance. It's just odd that in the later half of 2008, North America got anything Hamtaro, especially a Hamtaro video game.
It's showing
in the
that
early days of
fantasy.
Hamtaro coming to the US, it initially seemed like it could have a promising rise, much like it was having in Japan. But maybe the Western market didn't latch on as heavily as they were originally hoping it would.
Huh. Oh my god, so that was the VA for that one?
Hamtaro now continues.
So clearly, Hamtaro didn't become a main staple in the rising market space of anime properties becoming more popular with audiences over here. When it comes to Hamtaro in Japan, the series was a smash hit, like a supersized smash hit that in only 2 years, once the anime and the games were coming out, the little hamster that could was now a franchise that at that point had already made around $2.5 billion through all the different
Jeez.
avenues you could think of. It wasn't just the anime and the games, we're talking about fast food collaborations, toy lines, merch, and so much more.
Oh my god, I forgot about the McDonald's one. Oh my god, dude.
If I could drop
Yeah, Hamtaro was pretty big over here too, because there's like so much merch about it over here. Oh my god, I remember the McDonald's one too as well. Oh my lord, dude. I completely forgot about that.
out a chart and show you how crazy successful it all was for you to understand, I would. So I did, here it is. So then, what happened that led to the series not bringing in the same amount of success in the States? Well, there's a few things that we can point to, with the biggest and most important one being how and where it was originally presented. We all know Toonami, right? Well, if not, I have a whole video talking all about it. But this entertainment block on Cartoon Network was crucial for the rise of anime growing in popularity with shows like Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, and
That is so freaking bro. The problem is with Toonami in general, you had to stay up so late or so to watch Toonami. It was crazy how late you had to stay up or so for that one. Oh my god, dude. They should have like done it a lot earlier.
and a long laundry list of others being shown. And when Cartoon Network
Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon. That's my shit right there. That's my shit right there.
got the distribution for the US to bring Hamtaro over to their network, it was them who decided to place the show onto the Toonami block, regardless of what the ones who ran Toonami felt about it, as Jason
Your
DeMar-
anime ran at the same hour. I was scheduled to do homework. Like for us, it was like late or so. I can't really watch Toonami back then. Shit's too late to air. Yeah, like it was super late. They aired it like ridiculously fucking late for no apparent reason.
Marco, one of the two
It was
creators of
ridiculous.
Toonami, says that it was a forced decision that they just had to go along with.
What's going on here? Well, they are kind of cute.
It's not that they hated the series and didn't want it on Toonami for some petty reason, it's just that it didn't fit alongside the other programming. Cartoon Network only saw Hamtaro as an anime, thinking that it can't randomly have its own spot on the network properly, and would just make sense to put it out alongside all of the other anime on Toonami instead. This
Bruh, dude, that's such a missed opportunity. Such a missed opportunity.
however, really turned out to be the main contributing factor that essentially would kill the momentum of Hamtaro in the US. Why? Well, when you put this slice of life show that is more open for all ages alongside all of these other action-based programs that
It's weird because of it, like I said previously, like I remember there was like backpacks, there was like kind of like little doll figure things or so for Hamtaro and whatnot. I don't know, there was like a couple of products or so for Hamtaro. Like a while
targeting a certain
ago.
demographic, the response to it taking up space in the Toonami block ends up being pretty negative and sometimes a little too aggressive. So many people took to online forums to talk about either being confused or disliking whatever this hamster show is. It wouldn't be long after—
Man, fuck them people. I don't give a fuck what forum people say or so on the goddamn internet. It's just a bunch of losers or so at the end of the day who literally can't accept other types of fucking fucking almost said hentai. Other anime shows. Like, honestly, man, fuck them. Nah. Bro, Hamtaro was the shit, man. Bro, the OST for that freaking fucking show was great, dude.
its premiere in 2002 that it would officially be taken off of Toonami following the massive pushback against it and low viewership.
That's
despite
so
it initially
gay.
doing really well because people tuned in to check out exactly what the show was before deciding to tune out. Jason DeMarco would further call the decision to have Hamtaro on Toonami a black eye on the programming block's legacy. Cartoon Network wanted—
Fuck all these people, man. Bro, fuck all of them, bro. Fuck every single one of them who hated on Hamtaro. Fuck all y'all. You guys are not cultured enough, man. Get the fuck out of here, to be honest.
to be
But
at
y'all
the
wanna be
forefront
as
of Hamtaro
losers.
being successful in the US like it was in Japan, thinking it could have a similar explosion in growth, or they could of course benefit from it. So placing it on Toonami was them deciding to put it where it would get a bunch of eyes, and again, to the show's credit, it initially did, but it was just the wrong eyes it needed to be in front of. Because of the decision to pull it off of Toonami, they didn't know what to do with it
Oh,
for
nice.
now, giving it
Congratulations.
airtime on the network, but giving it bad airing times which would hold it back from gaining a larger audience than it would have. With it being shown during early slots in the morning and afternoon, it would over time struggle to find a massive growth that the network was hoping for. While there would be a solid enough interest at the start once it would be on Cartoon Network proper, it never had the chance to connect with the right audience. So with the audience not tuning in and it initially not being put in a better place for it to have a more solid chance at success, Hamtaro as a whole would start to fade away in the United States. On October 21st, 2000—
Man, it's just literally just bad. The way how they basically place the cartoon in like different time frame or so for the schedule, they just didn't put it in the right spot. That's pretty much it, because I remember watching this show.
the final translated to English episode of Hamtaro would premiere, with that being Ham Ham Halloween, which premiered during Cartoon Network's Shocktober. While there would still be reruns and even a special OVA that would tie into the Ham Ham Games video game in 2004, the series was officially over for US audiences. The anime would continue to run on in Japan for a few more years, having a total of 296 episodes, with—
What? It had 296 episodes? Oh my god, God Lord. Damn, I want to watch that actually, to be honest. Ugh, I want to watch Hamtaro.
the US only ever getting 105 of them being dubbed in English. So there is still about 2/3 of the anime that never had a chance to be dubbed into English and then shown on TV. So here is why I wanted to mention Ham Ham Paradise, the fan site I brought up earlier, again, as they have made fan subs, or as they cutely call them, ham subs, of the Japanese episodes, movies, OVAs, and more from the world of Hamtaro, helping to preserve the series and help
Wait, they fucking made movies for this anime? What? Oh, that's crazy.
it become more accessible for others to continue watching or further explore more from the series. That's no easy effort, so a massive shout out to the die-hard Hamtaro fans out there who do all of this amazing—
Flora's wedding, talk bow wow cookies, being a dad can be painful, Sparkle's art, reviving your smile, it's Santa Merry Christmas, non oshare, ogre ham hams.
work on Ham Ham Paradise. As for Hamtaro in general, the main anime series itself came to an end in 2006. There were other things in the world of Hamtaro that continued to happen, with the first thing being these 3D animated shorts known as Totoko Hamtaro High. They were only a few minutes long, and in total over a couple years, nearly 80 of them were created. There was other
Wait. I think I remember this.
and with the first thing being these 3D animated shorts known as Totoko Hamtaro High. They were only a few minutes long, and in total over a couple years,
I remember seeing this.
nearly 80 of them were created. There was other anime stuff like taking the original series and editing some small things, adding some small things, and ultimately getting it to air once again inside of Japan. And as for anything video game related, there was a 2011 iOS game simply titled Hamtaro Little Hamsters Big big adventures, and it was, well, it's just a move things around and match them to clear the level type of game, albeit one with a Hamtaro theming. But sadly, the game was delisted a few years later in 2014, so yeah. For me, Hamtaro was largely just this core memory that would bring me back to the early 2000s, where I had my own experiences with the property mainly through the first couple of video games and a bit of the anime from when I would catch it on cartoon.
I just watched the show. That's about it. That's where I got my Hamtaro, was from the show. I didn't play no video games or anything like that.
Network, but I never got super big into the series at the time other than that. Jumping back in to rediscover a lot of the series helped me realize that I did play more of the games and see more of the show than I originally thought I had. But most importantly for going back to it now was being able to find something so inoffensive and wholesome that you can't help but smile at it. Whether you find it cute and adorable or just silly and fun, it just strikes the right chord of putting you in a happy mood. Except for that one special about Hamtaro's mom. It's really emotional and overall still a great episode, but if you don't want all those feels, it's okay, because the English dub completely butchered it, as they cut all of the emotional stuff out of it for potentially being too much for children to handle. Hey,
Oh my goodness gracious me. Are you serious? Oh my lord. Oh, they cut it out because it's too much for little kids. Oh my god. Oh god. Oh man, you guys missed out so much, to be honest, I swear.
My guy, we watched Ash nearly die in the first movie in theaters.
Fucking facts. Facts. So freaking facts, dude. Oh my god, bro. Like, honestly.
Turned to stone. We all cried. We are the Pokemon in that scene. We can handle it. Anyway, I don't know what the future holds for Hamtaro. Could there be more? Most certainly. It was a massive hit in Japan and could easily make a comeback, and who knows? Maybe
Dude, I would totally love a remastered for this one, to be honest, with like the more modern, the more just modernized it, you know? Like a new, like in this time frame. That'd be pretty
try
cool,
again
to be
to
honest.
bring Hamtaro to the US to see if the second time's the charm to give it a shot. There is a large enough cult following that I wouldn't be surprised if it did work out. I think these cute little
I think it would actually pop off with a lot of girls or so. Because, like, for God's sakes, you have, like, what? You have the stupid Labubu or so, whatever it's called or so, that's popping off, apparently. You can probably do this too as well. You know what? If they actually do, maybe, you know what? I kind of want to buy me a plushie for it, actually, to be honest. If they even
hamsters could
exist.
come back around for another big adventure. But what about you? What do you think? Should Hamtaro come back? Or are you a fan of Hamtaro in general? Let me know all of that.
Yes, they should bring Hamtaro back, man. Just do it, man. Come on, man. You got this stupid Labubu thing coming out, you know? So why the hell not? You got people spending thousands of dollars on Labubu, so...
And more in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching.
And then also you also have Hello Kitty as well. The whole Hello Kitty universe with, like, you know, what is it, Cinnamon Roll, and then, like, whatever the other characters are. You have those characters too. I think you can squeeze in fucking Hamtaro in that.
Make sure to leave a like on this video and to subscribe for
I'm
more
just
videos
saying,
like
you know,
this coming soon. But until then,
I didn't wake up. I didn't. Like I said, I didn't grow up with like Hello Kitty. I fucking grew up with like Sailor Moon and like Hamtaro and stuff like that. So, and that's pretty much it. You know. Ah man, dude. Oh my god, Bats. What is it? Bats. Bads. Is that? Brats or whatever. I remember Brats. People buy Funko Pops too. Ugh, Funko Pops. Ugh, God, no. No, you wouldn't catch me. You would not catch me having one of those, to be honest. I'll get figurines instead, or like little chibi versions of the models from the anime or anything like that. You know, something like that in general. But like, yeah. Ah, that was cool. I like that. Oh, dude, Hamtaro. So many good memories, man. So many good memories. There's so many good memories back then. Ah, brings back a tear in my eyes or so to kind of see that, you know. I like this channel. This channel is pretty good because they go talk about like old cartoons and everything like that. I thought this channel was really good. Jordan is a good channel, to be honest. I got Metabots in here, dude. Fucking Pen Zero. They also talk about like new stuff too as well. I've never seen this one. I've seen this one. The Fairly Odd Parents. Ginger. Let's see. Brace Face. I think I've seen this one too as well. Recess. Witch. Scooby-Doo. Yeah, Teen Titans, of course. The TMNT Turtles, the 2003 version. Jimmy Two Shoes. Freaking Ben 10, bro. Oh, Coconut Fred. I remember Coconut Fred too. Like these are all old cartoons. Duel Masters, bro. Bro, straight up Duel Masters, man. Angela Anaconda. Fucking Puka as well. This is a great channel. I like this channel, to be honest. They go like a super in-depth or so when it comes to like some of these cartoons, and I like it personally. Like some of the newer ones I don't really watch, to be honest, so I just kind of like watch, you know, I watch the older stuff. But yeah, anyways, that's the end of the video. You guys can comment, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazzy stuff. Oh, memories, so many good memories, to be honest. Hamtaro opening, bro. We'll take a look. I can't do it on YouTube, unfortunately. I can't post it in my VOD or so for Hamtaro, but we'll watch it right after this. Anyways, that's the end of the video, and